Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm doing another update video on another Airsoft project that I was working on previously, and it involves a really unique and cool gun that I'm quite fond of, and I do like my guns that are unique and different, it seems. You know, I'm a big fan of the P90. Don't worry, this video is not about P90, so don't switch off. This one is about another quirky, impractical but cool gun, and it is none other than the tactical lunchbox, aka the FMG9. But this isn't just an ordinary FMG9. This is one that I've actually customized with some 3D printing accessories. But the FMG9, if you're familiar with it, it is literally a tactical lunchbox that folds out when the magazine's in to a nice little cool submachine gun pistol. Works off Glock internals. You know, it's a cool little thing. Now, I'm not going to be doing a video around how you assemble the internals, putting your Glock slide in and all that, because all it runs off inside is basically a Glock. That's just a Glock slide in there with a few bits from a Glock, and then turns it into a fun little gun. Now, I'm not going to be doing a disassembly video or assembly video of, like, assembling the FMG9. There's millions of them out there on YouTube. This video is going to just be focusing on two upgrades I've made to the gun, two 3D printed designs I've made that basically make the gun more usable and skirmishable, in my opinion. So I've got a nice little video showcasing the gun and showing off, and I'm going to walk you through some of the steps and how I created it. So there it is, the FMG9. Now, some people are familiar with it. It's been in a lot of films and TV series, you know, a lot of sci-fi series, the way it unfolds. You know, I think one of the most famous versions I've seen of it is the gun the kid from Robocop 2 uses. It is a fun little gun, I've got to be honest with you. Yeah, I must admit, I do tend to call it my tactical lunchbox because, you know what, sometimes the enemy get hungry during the game and you need something to rapidly deploy those BBs so they can eat them. And, you know, this gun does the job. Now, as I mentioned, these kits use the internals from a Glock, so I was quite lucky that I had a spare Glock. It was actually a Gen 3 Glock, which is really good. Ignore the orange slide. That wasn't part of the gun. That's another project I'm working on. So all you need from it is the top of the Glock. Gen 3 Glock. It works for different brands, but that one's a WE, the one I've got. You do need some of the internals, so you need this slide bar. So that's what releases the slide. So that part, and you also need the trigger bar, which is the bit you can see hooked onto the spring there. All that goes in there, but like I say, I'm not going to be doing a video around that. There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube for you to see that. So the gun itself is really handy, you know. I love how it just unfolds. You'll notice that one popped out correctly when the magazine was in it. And you know what, it's a good gun, but there was a few designs with it, flaws with it, that I wasn't 100% happy with. The first thing for me was carrying the gun. Now, obviously, you can hold it like a pistol, you know, like that. But when it's boxed up, you've got to, you know, find a weird way to carry it. Now, it's got a carry handle. So when it's boxed up, you know, you can carry, you've got the carry handle, so you can carry it, but you can't constantly run around carrying that. And then to holster it, it's very weird. I've looked online. The only thing I can find is some kind of weird harness sling purse for the FMG9, which just seems silly to me. Some people will put a strap through it in the middle and put a clip on it. You know, so when it's sideways, they'll run a strap through it. But once again, you have to fiddle with that strap. If the strap gets caught, how do you get it off? So carrying it is a bit of an issue. So I thought, could I make a holster for it? Now, the second issue I had with it was the actual rail itself. Now, I've painted up my iron sights. You can see the front one being green and the rear being white, just to make it a bit easier to see, which is fine during the daytime. But what if it's dark? You know, it's very hard to use them. Now, ideally, I'd love to put a red dot on it, but you would have to drill holes in it. You'd have to put a platform on. You'd have to make sure it's level. And you'd have to ruin the original handle. And it's a shame the design doesn't allow for that. Now, the area there for the torch, very, very tight. I had a small torch, but even the one I had was too big. It wouldn't fit. So I thought to myself, could I make a 3D printed handle that solves these problems? So I did. And there you go. That is the 3D printed version I've designed. It took a long time to get the measurements right, you know, trying to get the shape for the rail. I've tried to keep it as close to the original as possible. And you know what? It's not too bad. I've made the torch area a little bit bigger, and it is a little bit higher. But that's actually from where I've leveled it off instead of having it sloped like the original one. By leveling it off, it allowed me to put that 20mm rail on, which allows me to put on a nice little RMR. I've even got a 3D printed lens protector with some polycarbonate on to protect it, and it all fits, and it's solid. It's really sturdy. So that's the rail itself, you know, without all the attachments. So it took a while to get all the measurements accurate. Trying to make it tight enough, but also strong enough, getting it thick enough so the strength of it would hold it. Now, I've used it for multiple games, and so far, it's held up really, really well. You know, I've copied even the grooves in the original to mirror as much as I can from the original one, but that was also from a bit of feedback from a friend at the site I play at, because the torch they had has little toggles either side to activate it, and my initial design, it didn't really have the room to activate it, so I had to curve it out, and it gave enough room. And the extra height as well allows a lot more different size torches to be fit. Like as you can see for the one I've got there, it fits absolute perfectly. But yeah, so you know what? It's strong, it holds up. I can easily activate my torch. I can carry it. You know, even with my big hands, I can fit in there easily. The only thing I couldn't do is make the same locking mechanism. So I tried to recreate the mechanism on the original slide, but I couldn't. So what I did, simply drilled it out. I used a tap and die set to bore the right size in for a grub screw that's wide enough to go in between the 20mm rails on the gun and secure it with an Allen key. So just tighten it up, loosen it, allows it to slide on and off, which is perfect. As you can see, it's pretty solid. There's hardly any wobble. And you know what, like I say, I've used it many a times, and so far it's held up really, really well. Just that small change, having that red dot on it is phenomenal, especially in dark environments. And you know what, I love it. It's accurate. I've upgraded the internals of the Glock. It's got a crazy jet barrel and everything, and I have more fun with that than I do just using a standard Glock. I really do. Now, the holster. So that was a very different challenge because I just wanted something you could simply slot it in. Originally, I tried loads of different methods like quick release, catches, hooks, and it just absolutely failed. So I decided to go to basics, and I've made a very, very simple holster. It's actually a retention holster. No switches, no toggles, no complicated parts. It's just one solid piece. You slide it in, it clips in place, and now it holds it, which is brilliant. And as you can see, upside down, there you go, not falling out. Now, it's got enough tension, you just pull it out, but not too much so it holds the gun. Now, I personally wouldn't go bungee jumping with it being upside down. I think the force would yank it out, but you look at that, giving that quite a violent shake there, nothing. And once again, that's a holster I've tested. I've run around and game with it on my belt, and it's never once fallen out. But I can just pull it out when I need to, deploy it, and have some fun. But there you go. So 2 simple solutions to 2 problems that probably only I had. Other people probably don't have an issue with it, but I didn't like the fact that I couldn't holster it. Didn't like the fact that I could have a red dot on it, so I decided to make it. But honestly, I've been using this gun so much recently. I've really, really enjoyed it. With these 2 simple changes, it makes it so much easier to use in skirmish. Instead of running a sidearm like I do with my rifle, I sometimes run that now because it just pulls out and deploys. But there you go. So that's the project. Very quick video, not very long. Hope you've enjoyed it. What do you think of these designs? You know, please in the comments let me know what you think. I've actually already made a few rails for a few people who play, who've seen me using it and wanted it. Versus the original rail, I think this is much better. I don't know why they don't design the original to allow you to do setups like that. and I'm amazed there's no holster. I've looked everywhere, and the ones I find are just not as simple as that, and it is simple. It's got a simple paddle attachment. You can put it on belts, leg mounts, anything. So, you know what? I've really enjoyed making it. I've really enjoyed using it. I'm going to make these files available, but that is going to be it from me. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. I really hope you enjoyed the updates and the designs I've made. So, that's it. Very short video, just a little bit of an update on some of the projects I work on, because I do a lot of these editing and designing in the background. And you know what, for some things in Airsoft, if there isn't something that exists, you know, I try to make it, you know, just like with the previous project for the STI Eagle, you know, it's very hard projects, you know, and then the ones before that, you know, we've done the Res Evil pistols, we've done the pulse rifle grenade launcher. You know what, I really enjoy doing it. I wish I had more time to keep doing stuff like this, but it is nice to be able to make these things and make some little videos just to be able to showcase them to you. Now, these files will be made available. I'll be selling them. I will put a link in the video description once they're online and available. The reason I will be asking for a price for them, just simply because if I upload them for free, then there's people who are just going to be able to clone them and everything. And you know what? I've put a lot of time and effort into these. No one else has made them. And you know what? If I could find 10 files identical or similar to the one I've made, then I would absolutely, you know, just upload them for free. But the reality is, as far as I'm concerned, what I've made is very unique. So that is going to be why I'm going to have to put a small price tag on it. And you know what? Unfortunately, I'm not monetized on YouTube. I don't make money from this content. You know, if you want to help with that, please consider subscribing to the channel. But you know what? I enjoy it. I enjoy making this content. And you know what? Hopefully one day I can get monetized. But that is it for this video. So a massive thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing so. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it is priceless to me. And there's not just videos like this on my channel. I do have Airsoft gameplay, and also if you're a gamer like me, I do stream a lot of content on Twitch. I make a lot of video series and upload a lot of my VODs there as well. So there may be something there to keep you entertained. But that is it from me. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.